Hello, I'm your host, Jean-Paul Baran, President of Focus on the Family Canada. Welcome to the Thriving Family, a Focus on the Family Canada podcast. This is the space where family, faith, and culture intersect. Thanks to generous donors who support our ministry, you can enjoy the Thriving Family, ad-free without any interruptions. In this season of the podcast, we're talking about communication and conflict, which is one of the most common topics people come to us about. For today's episode, I have the extreme honor of introducing a powerful testimony of hope being restored. Gary and Joy had been married for 37 years, but as time went on, they both felt increasingly alone in the relationship. When they became empty nesters, the problems in their marriage they'd been avoiding for years could no longer be ignored. Then they heard about Hope Restored, a marriage-intensive program at Focus on the Family Canada. Since 2018, countless couples on the brink of divorce have attended Hope Restored intensives. By working with our marriage counselors in both group and private intensives, couples like Gary and Joy discovered newfound hope for their marriages. Now let's hear from Gary and Joy.
When Gary and I met, we had children right away. We never really had the chance to get to know each other, to be a couple. When the house was empty of our girls, we sat at the dining table and looked at each other and said, now what? What are we going to do?
We don't know how to be a couple again.
We didn't know how to be a couple again.
So it became awkward at one point. Then we tried to still make it operational for both of us because we don't know how to be romantic anymore. We don't go out on dates. We don't. When I finally submitted and said yes to Hope Restored, that really opened up a lot. It was really more out of desperation.
So when he finally said yes, and I said, yes. And we made that application. And so it just happened. And in December, we went.
I was nervous, anxious at the start. But when we felt so welcome, it started to settle down. Then our facilitators were great.
Were amazing. And I was so scared for him. Because I said to myself, I pray that he'll be open, that he opens his heart, because I know how much pride he has. The second day was so scary. So scary that one of our facilitators came up to me and said, are you okay? And I said, I don't think this will work. Second day.
I was expecting more, that it will be fixed immediately. So just to get it out of the way. So after the second day that I felt that it was not being resolved. So I said, no, just like what Joy said, no, it won't work.
Watching Gary squirm in his seat, being asked questions that were so probing and so personal, I was scared that he's not going to open his heart. I remember when we were registering for the program, one of the questions that was asked was, do you believe in miracles? And I answered yes. And I said, I'm looking forward to my miracle. So we just pushed ahead. I trusted the process and the facilitators. And on the third day, we had a eureka moment.
They made me realize that I was hiding in my cave because I was afraid. And the more that we were fighting, arguing, the more I went deep and deeper to my cave, to the point that I became imprisoned in that cave.
Going into the cave deeper and deeper did not show vulnerability at all. Instead, he showed arrogance and pride and even the lack of asking forgiveness. And that really turned me off. And I said, why is there so much hardness of heart in you when we're both church people and we love God and we serve God, right? But in our own relationship, we're trying to put barriers because of pride. And for me, it's because of anger. When I'm angry, I just lose myself.
I was shown how to get out of that cave, how to express that, and it was really more of expressing how I feel, what I feel, and setting that boundary and caring for myself, rather than continue to hide and be afraid and not communicate. So that's the big aha moment for me.
I think the one thing we learned in Hope Restored is how to feel safe with one another. Because for so many years, we didn't feel safe at all. He hid things from me. I hid things from him. We didn't tell each other the truth at all times. We also realized that we were already expressing how we felt and what we need from each other. But the most important thing to me is that Gary learned to listen. And we're just so grateful. Grateful to Hope Restored because we got to understand our psyche, how our relationships work. And I think the best part really is that through our facilitators and through the program, we were able to meet that. And in the end, the Lord was just there to polish everything,
The key here is be vulnerable and open yourself up to God's will. That really brought me to where I am.
The spiritual context that I have for this whole experience of Hope Restored is that it's like the passion, death, and resurrection of Christ, Like when we were married, we went through a lot of passion, suffering, sacrifices. And the death to us was dying to ourselves and saying yes to Hope Restored, knowing that we will be vulnerable there amongst people that we don't know. But the resurrection happened after, And it's just a great experience that I hope and I pray every married couple who's going through something should experience.
What an incredible encouragement to the power of hope. I want to thank Gary and Joy for sharing with us today. If you want to learn more about Hope Restored, or if you know someone who might need hope in their marriage, I encourage you to visit hoperestoredcanada.ca or follow the link in the show notes from today's episode. If you wish to talk about this further, or if it brought up something that you would like to talk through, you can have a free one-time consultation with one of our registered counselors at Focus on the Family Canada over the phone. Give us a call at 1-800-661-9800 to request a consult. It's our gift to you. Thanks for listening to today's episode of The Thriving Family, a podcast from Focus on the Family Canada. If you like this episode, please leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts, and be sure to subscribe. If you feel led, you can make a donation at focusonthefamilycanada.ca/podcast giving. This program is available ad-free because of the generosity of our donors. Most importantly, please remember that we are here for you and your family.